Just a wrap up of the work session and the council meeting for the City of Grand Rapids for Monday, October 22nd. A couple of interesting things and I think very positive things at the work session that I wanted to touch on this afternoon. Work session, we had Amber Paratello in to talk about the estimated market value and the tax capacity between property classifications in Itasca County as the assessor. So one of the things that we'd been interested in when we started looking at how they do this, and they've been rotating around, and they did a 5-year, and then in between times, how do you find out what your tax capacity and assessed values and stuff are. And it was interesting to find out that permits and stuff change it, and then they will slowly go through on the 20%. But also market rates change. So when they take a look at what homes and stuff are selling for in the Grand Rapids area, that can change that assessed value on what properties are. So it's good for us to know where we're at and what type of revenue is coming in as a result of that. Looking for continued growth. New construction grew in the last 5 years by $42 million, which is always positive. We had some new businesses come in, and some of them came in under TIF districts. And remember that a TIF district is a business that was going out and something's coming in order to allow that business to come in and to be able to be competitive. They file and they get some TIF funding, so they have a set rate from a tax capacity of what they're going to pay for a period of time, and then once the obligation on their part is met, then the property value increases from what they were paying to what the new assessed value is, and that comes in to help us. And normally I don't jump ahead, but we had a piece that was pertaining to that this evening. We had the decertification of TIF district for District 19, Majestic Pines. As you go out Golf Course Road, you see that beautiful building, and that was put up, and they used TIF funding in order to make it work. They came in and they asked for that TIF to be done early, and as a result of that, when it comes in, so 2020, we're in 18 for 19, so 19 payable in 20, we'll have an additional 110,000 of tax capacity that will come onto the books, and that 110, as our city administrator said, that 110,000 of tax capacity on the tax implications for a $100,000 home in Grand Rapids would have been about an $11 decrease with that money coming in. So it would actually help stabilize and hold the taxable tax capacity numbers that we are looking at on a year-over-year basis. So as property values increase and businesses come in and new construction comes on, all that broadens the pie and it helps hold them costs down. So that was a nice presentation by Amber Paratello. Megan Christensen came in, talked a little bit about Live Like a Local campaign. One of the things that Visit Grand Rapids is out there doing, that's promoting us as a place to come and shop and to visit from a recreational standpoint and from a tourist standpoint, but now they're getting into some of the quality of life, a place to live, work, and play, and how we can use that to benefit the City of Grand Rapids from a recruitment standpoint. So great work on Megan's part, using some funding that she had requested before from IRRB, along with a matching one for this year. They've increased their visibility out there, and we hope that there can be a third phase that can go along in there where businesses can be able to use this tool to try and get out there and promote, so that a business, whether it's big or small, could go out there and they could use it for advertising. So if somebody's looking for work, they could punch into the City of Grand Rapids on the Visit Grand Rapids site, and you could start going through and you could see, why would I want to take and move my family to northeast Minnesota to get a job? And you can take a visual tour of literally everything there is to do in the Grand Rapids area if you know how to make those connections. So once again, a great presentation by Megan Christensen in that area. The council meeting itself was rather short this evening, but I did want to touch on a few of the things under the consent agenda. We approved a request for qualifications for a mural and 3 sculptures. Arts and culture has been a huge push over these last 4 or 5 years because it does bring in a significant amount of money into the city, somewhere between $5 and $6 million a year. Comes in through arts and culture, and some of the things that we're looking at doing is how do we continue to promote arts and culture. So they were looking at that, and then we budgeted some adjustment to the Arts and Culture Commission related to that mural and sculptures. We also ordered a feasibility report for the 2014-2019 street improvement projects. So we'll be solidifying those coming up here shortly on what's going to be repaired streetwise next year in the city of Grand Rapids and what quadrant of the community and stuff will be affected by it. Jeff Davies was in. He did a department head report along with a request to have seasonal workers that are going to come in and help over the winter months. As you know, we run with a smaller crew, and we fill in with people that can come in on a part-time basis and help with the snow removal, doing street stuff. So it actually saves us money by having these folks come in, and we're appreciative of the people that are out there and willing to come in and do that. And then we had an agreement with the Department of Transportation for the Iron Range Range Rail Initiative. As we'd been looking at how do we promote and support businesses, one of the things we've been looking at is a spur that goes from literally the Boswell plant over by Cohasset across the north part of the city of Grand Rapids and ties into the CN facilities out there. And it's to get competitive rail rates potentially that would compete with Burlington Northern, so you're not held captive. Right now, Minnesota Power and other businesses along here that deal with Burlington Northern are basically captive from a shipper standpoint, and what their rates are is what their rates are. There's no competition out there, so we're looking at a rail initiative that could help that across the range. Tonight, department head, I touched a little bit on it, was done by Jeff Davies. He come in and he talked a little bit about the key one was some of the stuff that we'd done from a park standpoint. And one of the new things, we've got 26 parks in the city, and a lot of equipment was maintained and upgraded at, I believe, 11 of the parks. And Crystal Park just down the street here, one of the things that was put in there that is extremely pleasing for a lot of residents is the handicap accessibility swing. We had people in wheelchairs that came there that have never been on a swing in their life are now able to get on a swing and experience the joy of being able to do that activity. And it was, as Jeff said, it was almost tear-jerking to see the expression and the joy on the faces of some of these folks that had gotten on a swing for the first time in their life. Matt Wegworth was in from an engineering standpoint, talked a little bit about the work that we're going to be having done with SEH. We're looking at 2015-3, the Highway 2 West Trail project. One of the things that we've been looking at is working with the city of Cohasset, so from County Road 63 and 76, where the trail ends coming along Tioga, all the way in on the north side of 63 to the Highway 2 intersection. We're going to be extending trail, and we have to make sure that as a result of that, there is a safe way that you can get across Highway 2. So that study needs to be done in order to accommodate what work needs to be done out there. I already talked about the finance department. Our city administrator talked about the decertifying of District 1-9 and the implications on our tax capacity in that one. And then under the admin department, our building inspector, John Peterson, has passed all of his qualification tests with flying colors, and we are moving a rate adjustment from him from $26.33 to $28.25 because of that rate adjustment and the work that he does, and that would be effective, goes back to September 22nd. And then we're in the process of creating an eligibility list for hospital security. As you recall, a few years back, the hospital came to us, and in order to provide adequate security to their 650 employees out there, there was an agreement that the hospital pays the bill, but they do the hiring through our police department to staff over there on limited hours over the course of the week. Since then, the hospital has determined that the best scenario on their side from a security standpoint of their 650 employees is to have security coverage 7/24. So we're in the process of doing that, and they will be hired and they will work under the police leadership in Grand Rapids, but it'll all be funded through Grand Itasca Hospital and Clinic. So with that, we're looking forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. Hope everyone's out there. We finally got a couple of days. I know the wind has been blowing. Get the leaves up in the air and they'll blow over to the neighbors, and hopefully the neighbor will pick them up for you if you're so inclined to do that. Otherwise, take care when you're out there and you're doing some of that raking that you don't, there's a tendency a lot of times to go hard, and you can get some strains on some muscles and stuff. So take and do some stretching and stuff and make sure that you're taking the proper steps in order to get your yards cleaned up. But enjoy it. It's a great time of year. All too soon, as Jeff Davies said, he already lost the bet with the chief on when the first snowstorm or snow of the year would come in. We've already had that, but hopefully we get a nice fall and get out and do some hunting. There's a lot of hunting and a lot of hunting seasons coming up with the deer season and stuff. So we're getting into that fall time when we're going to see a lot of traffic and stuff through Grand Rapids. But please get out and enjoy the day. Thanks and have a good evening.